11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Gervonta won it. Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano. Using the ropes, the steady and smile from Sammy Pacquiao. Oh, counter
Thanks to those joining us live and those that will join us here on the archive. A lot to talk about. By the way, who's down with HCP? Everybody. 190 episodes. We've been cooking, right? We're making up for lost time. And here on HCP, that's Hispanics called the panic. Hit the like button. If you're listening to the archive, hit the like button. And subscribe if you like the content. Subscribe to Calix Boxing here on YouTube. That's on Calix Boxing. And follow us on Twitter as well. We are live on his Twitter feed as well or X. We're live on X. Shout out to Remy, Brundog, Anthony Sanchez, Nando Llamas, Hyper Job, Tank Davis. How are you? And Chico with a $4.99 super chat.
Out the gate.
Doran. The only topic that matters is Dana White and Turkey declaring war on the old guards. Trump is behind him, too. So much winning, baby. So, there you go. Shout out to him. We are going to talk about that first. Not because we're starting in any particular order or nothing like that, okay?
We need to talk about women's boxing first. We need to talk about women's boxing first.
But what I want to say is this. There's a big women's boxing match on the 7th, right? Big fight. Unification, fight here. Jonas versus Price over there in England. It's done in the right spot. I think it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I think 40. She's 40 years old. Jonas. People are saying she's old, but I think she's gonna win it. I think the experience is gonna be the defining factor here. I think that's gonna make the difference in the fight. Price she's good. Don't get me wrong, and I think she has a bright future. But I think Jonas will win it over there in England. What do you think, Alex?
I agree with everything you just said. Everything you just said, I agree with.
He agrees 100%.
100%.
He never agrees 100%, but right now he's agreeing 100%. You know what I mean? But we're 40, so we got to back up the fighters over 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's what it's saying. You wanted to debate about who's the number one pound for pound women's boxer.
That's right.
So who's the number one pound for pound women's boxer in the planet? In your opinion, Kelly, is it the Whoa?
No, I'll give it to Katie. I'll give it to Sky Nicholson. Sky Nicholson is the pound for pound number one. How about that?
Based on what?
Based on whatever. We'll give it to her.
No, we're not going to disrespect Katie Taylor that way. We're not going to just do that. Like, you know what I mean? We're not going to do that. But to me, it's Katie Taylor for sure. So.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Look, we need to get to this because I am, and by the way, be on the lookout for it, Jonas for the win. Right? We need to talk about the WBA. We're gonna get to the big topic that Chico wants us to talk about, but first, the WBA kind of didn't, but they didn't. Made a ruling because they're denying it now. The president came out next and said, I don't know what y'all talking about. What are y'all talking about? Like, it's on our website, but it doesn't mean, please stop quoting what's on our website.
By the way, how does Nando is coming with the hate too? How does he know you don't have ashes underneath that beanie? How does he know?
I don't have any ashes for sure.
I guess he knew.
The power of Christ compels me for sure. But I haven't gotten yet. I'll go later. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to go now.
Yeah, do it whenever.
You know, Nando hasn't gone. Nando's over here.
He's working
Judging.
hard. He's working hard.
I don't believe.
Nando's got to go. Nando's got to go through the drive-through ashes. You seen those? The drive-through ashes. I'm telling you, the drive-through ashes. That's the way to go. I didn't do it, but you need to do it.
Drive-through ash.
It's big here in New Orleans. You go South Louisiana, they have drive-through everything in South. You get drive-through daiquiris, you get drive-through everything, right? You can go and get drive-through ashes now. They offer them drive-through ashes. So just go. You're on the move. You need to get to work. If you're a hard-working man like Nando, you got and you're on your way to go make some money for your family, you can just go get ashes real quick. Drive-through ashes. So just putting that out there for everybody.
Stop making excuses for Nando. Like you're making all the excuses for Nando, like because he's working so hard and all the other stuff. But Alex said, so the president of WBA has denied it. He said, stop posting misleading.
Mm-hmm.
Stop posting misleading an opinion from a collaborator of the WBA boxing website. He doesn't belong to any committee. Has any influence or opinion on the matter in our association.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it in the WBA website? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So and also this is the issue with sanctioning, but there's never clarity, right? And this is the issue that I have because one of the things that may come out of this boxing league or whatever is coming, right, is they've talked about open scoring. And I've become a big proponent on open scoring because there's just we're obviously in a corrupt sport, right? And we always play this game after big fights. Is it corruption or is it incompetence? Corruption or incompetence? Are people tired of playing these games? Aren't you tired of playing that game, D-Style? Is it corruption or is it incompetence? Is it corruption or is it incompetence? I would love a system that's transparent and can shine the light on people that need a light shun on them and say, all right, we're going to have a scoreboard and you're going to have to score fights correctly and transparently now. There's no more, oh, you scored the fight and now you bounce after you score the fight and everybody's booing and nobody even knows who they're booing. And at the same time, we come out with statements like this after cleaning up the mess and just moving on after, right? And if you do get punished, it's a slap on the wrist. I'm sure you get some cash under the table, right? But this is what's frustrating to me is what is the WBA statement? We're four days removed, right? What needs to happen here? What's their statement? So Ring Magazine comes out with this article citing the WBA saying, no, that's not us. If you want to know our real statement, click this link. And if you go to WBA Boxing on X right now and you click that link that they provided, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. The official statement
is this
right
on his
WBAboxing.com and you click the link, right? Go to WBA Boxing and you click the link and it no on their let me see, let me pull it up. WBA Boxing.
I clicked on it from his profile.
You click the link that they provide. Okay. We would like to clarify that the opinions and comments expressed in this article are the sole responsibility of the author and do not represent the views of the WBA. You can read the columnist's comments and opinions at the following link, and you click the link, and it says, "Oops, that page cannot be found." Okay, so what's the official comment then? Okay, so you're saying it's not that guy, even though that guy said our. Who is our? It seems to be you. And now that you get pushback, you provide this link on your official Twitter account, and I click on it, and it says, "Oops, nothing found here. Nothing found here."
Right.
And I'm not talking about his personal one. Click on WBA Boxing, and then click that. Go down. Keep going.
Is this one?
And yes, click that link right there. You can read, click it. Oops, that page can't be found. This is what I'm saying, D-Style. And this is what people are arguing for more of, because when people talk about, oh my God, Dana White's going to come into the sport and destroy it. Oh my God, why would he do that? And oh my God, my poor sanctioning bodies may go away. I don't know what I'm going to do. We need sanctioning bodies to provide rankings.
Here's what I want to know.
Lord knows we need Rolando Romero in the top 5, even though he's never fought at the weight and he's lost 2 out of his last 4, right? And then they do moves like this. And you're like, this is what you want more of? This is it? This is it. You're worried about
my problem is this, though. My issue is this, right? This is from the WBA boxing.com website, right? That's what the statement is from. And then he has the audacity, right? He's got this audacity to pop up, and I condemn everybody for quoting their website, right? Can you guys stop quoting? This is not a member of the committee. Who the fuck is a member of the committee? How do people become members of the committee?
You'll have people, this is the Stockholm syndrome that I talk about with boxing fans. You'll have people give the WBA a pass, right? And they'll say it's Turkey. Turkey did it. The Riyadh card is coming up, and Turkey ranked Rolando Romero number 2 just for this fight. And they'll ignore the common denominators here. That Rolando Romero got to fight for a belt coming off of a loss against an 80-year-old guy, Ismael Barroso. And we need to keep these guys around for rankings, because Lord knows we need Ismael Barroso versus Rolando Romero, number 1, number 2 for the belt, right? And they'll ignore that, and they'll put it on Turkey. Why? Because Turkey's putting on good fights, but Turkey's got a rag on his head, and he's from the East, so we can't have that. We need our corruption home. We need it home. That's what they're saying. They don't want to admit that, but that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying without saying it. Shout out to Chico with the super chat. Should we give him some music? Like you know what I mean? Let's go with the dude that's gonna beat up Nagata.
Man, that nigga was that Japanese guy was in shape.
Shout out to Chico. The WBA and sanctioned bodies will be irrelevant in 5 years. And the clip, Dana said that their champs won't need 3 letters in front of their belt, and Turkey smiled. Thanks for the support.
Believe me, there's no mental gymnastics here, because this is easy for me. This is easy.
Plus, I want to play this song too. So
I'm a hard-working man.
He's a hard-working man, right? He's a hard-working man. Yeah. Well, Callie's vouch for Chico. Is a hard-working man?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah, he is for sure.
Good dude. Good dude.
All right. So, look, what is it with, like I just don't understand this whole, and they all do this, right? It's almost like, oh, don't worry about who the members of the committee are. It's a secret society for all of these sanctioned bodies, right? Yeah. There's just a secret society of committee members, right? Don't worry about how they vote. Don't worry about these guys are president for life, by the way, right? Like they always have, oh yeah, they were selected by the committee. That's why they're president for life, right? Mm-hmm. They die and his son becomes a new president all of a sudden, right? Basically, we have monarchs running the sanctioned bodies. Right, mm-hmm. is essentially what we have right now, and they just make it up as they go. I think they thought this was going to be a really good explanation, is what they thought. It wasn't. There was some blowback, right? And now they're coming out. They're like, whoa! Just because it's in a WBA website doesn't mean that it comes from us. Okay, mm-hmm. Stop quoting this false information already. This is not a member of the committee. Who the fuck is a member of the committee then? You tell me, right, who the members of the committee are. What's the name of the person that wrote that in WBA? And are you going to reprimand them? Are you going to fire them? Are they? Mm-hmm. What's their role then? What do they do? Can we get some clarity?
This is when journalism needs to kick in. And look, we're not the people to do it because we don't have Gilberto Mendoza on the speed dial, nor do I ever want to. We're not invited.
I'll send the link right now if you want it to come on.
Yeah, we're not invited to the WBA, whatever they have, like these awards where they circle jerk each other and then give each other awards, right? And then pass each other money under the table to get guys ranked high, right? So we're not in that circle. We're outsiders, right? So all we're saying is this doesn't make any sense. and you need clarity. Any other sport, right? Let's say you have an AFC championship, and then everybody knows that that team's not supposed to be an AFC champion. You need to come out and make a statement. Remember when the Rams played the Saints and it was the worst call of all time, and then pass interference that wasn't called cost the Saints the Super Bowl berth, right? The NFL had to come out later that day. They didn't take long and say, look, man, we missed that. We can't retroactively give the Saints a win, but we missed it. Our bad on that. At least you get a statement, right? At least you get transparency. This is the problem with boxing, is there's no transparency. Reeks with corruption, and this is the WBA here, is that the WBA is saying, you're not going to get a state. Like, y'all really think you're going to get a statement? Like, you really think we're going to overturn this for Lamont Roach? Do y'all really think, number one, that Lamont Roach was next in line to get a shot at Tank? And do you think we care about Lamont Roach? I mean, we pretend to, but we don't care about this. So it's obvious to anybody. Everybody out there knows that you need to take a point away. If you want to do the right thing, you need to take a point away. And what did they say yesterday too, D-Style, that there was a technical glitch? Do you believe? I know some people in the chat will believe that there was a technical glitch. I know there are some people who will believe that. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not going to believe that there was a technical glitch, right?
Why can't he just admit that the referee made a bad call?
Yeah, and at least come out and say, but instead, what did they do? What was their statement was, it's the same thing you were told, right? It's discretion. It's the referee's discretion, something to that effect, right? And they're going to sweep it under the rug is what they're saying. You're not going to get anything from this. You're not. And they're banking on American boxing journalists not following up on this. American boxing journalists aren't going to demand that Gilberto Mendoza comes on camera and speaks to them, right? They're not going to demand it. But and say he's not willing to come on camera with us, they're not going to do that. And he's banking on them not doing that. So
I'll tell you what happened. He reached the count of three. Tank Davis, look at him over there to his corner, man, got on the ring apron. They're wiping his face. Somebody made a great point, by the way. I heard this, I believe it was from Ring IQ. And he said, we don't even know what the hell's on that towel, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I'm not saying there was or there wasn't, but what are they smelling salts on it? What are they? We don't know what the fuck's on there.
Yeah.
Right? And he's over here just wiping his face willy-nilly. Okay. And the refs had three. Well, the reality is, what happens when ref is counting and the fighter's not responding and walking away from them?
Yep.
And they put their head between the ropes. So 9 out of 10 times, what happens? You're done. They stop the fight. Right? Remember when Christina Cruz had something in her eye and she turned around and the ref stopped it immediately?
Yep.
And she actually tripped, by the way. She didn't go down. They didn't start counting, and then she turned around and walked away. She tripped one direction and went like this to her eye, and then the ref stopped it.
Yep.
So there's really good precedents here, right, that suggests that at this point, any responsible referee would say, at the very least, Tank, turn around, or I'm going to stop this fight. At the very least. Nope. He started the count. On this picture, he's already at, is that 3 or 4? Right? He's already at 3 on this picture, bro.
3.
And that's when he's getting his face wiped out. And then he stops the count. I don't understand what's debatable about this. I don't understand what
bring up. I don't know if you can bring up the statement from the commission. And you and I are no strangers commission to the New York State Athletic Commission, right? Because we talked to them after Eric Morales tested positive for Danny Garcia, and it wasn't a pretty conversation, right? So we're not strangers to this. We know corruption exists. We've faced it head on ourselves. He's already counting, and that's what they left out of their statement is his discretion was that he counted it as a knockdown. And he said, never in my life in the three decades of watching boxing have I seen a referee start a count and then say, no, my bad on that. We stop. And that's the type of stuff that needs to be addressed. That's the type of stuff that
is this Randy Gordon? I think I got it, but go keep going. Let me know if this is the one.
But this is the type of stuff that if they're a real American boxing journalist, left out there. They need to be asking. These are the follow-up questions they need to be asking. No, that's not it.
No,
That's not
I
it.
think it's the former commissioner then. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's not it. But this is the type of follow-up questions they need to be asking is, yeah, but he officially started the count. So now what? Now what's your comment? What's your comment to that? And they need to get these people on record is what they need to do. We all know they're corrupt. We all know they're going to sweep this under the rug ultimately, and they're going to have to give us an immediate rematch, right? That's going to be their negotiation with this, right? This is going to be what they end up with, and it's going to stay a draw, but we need them on record. We need them on record. We need to know that, yeah, they're corrupt. They are corrupt. And they eventually going to have to, if you have real journalists, they're going to have to come out and say, nah, man, he just missed the call. He just missed the call. And if they don't, we know they're corrupt. We got to know either way. That's how a proper sport works, but we don't have a proper sport, unfortunately. And I also want to, for the slow people in the classroom, want to point out that this wasn't a Turkey card. And Turkey has no interest in Tank Davis and whether he keeps the belt. I don't know. I don't know if that's trolling. I don't know what this is.
Could be.
Could be.
A lot of things to cover. Let me go over the super chat. Chico says, need a smug I told you so weekly segment from the rich Honduran, just like Austria's clap back their staves.
I told you so.
Hey, you get it? I still think Austria thinks clapbacks is you clap. Because you clap and get it. And then the other concept, they need to get that in order to clap back, they need to say something about you and then you clap back at them.
Yeah.
Right? But
he's
like him
clapping. He's not clapping back, he's clapping.
Yeah. He's just a clapper. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of what it is. Shout out to Chico and Hype Job. Tank Davis says 199 super chat. Tank Roach will result in a trilogy. I don't think it will, but
never know.
Maybe it just depends. You know what I mean?
If Roach beats him in the rematch, it may.
Yeah, well.
I'm a hard-working man.
All right, so have you seen Ali Setback come out and say
boy.
that?
That's your boy. You love Ellie. And by the way, he has me blocked, which I don't have a problem with because I have hundreds of people blocked. But so I can't.
Well, that sounds kind of soft. Isn't it kind of a soft thing to do?
I don't think so. I don't think it is because I block people. Yeah. But the crazy thing is I've never had a conversation. I've never even. I must have been in.
Maybe I blocked you, by the way.
That he was in.
Maybe it's in association with me. But look, he said this setback. I don't know personally, not a fan of fighters lawyering up. It's a slippery slope. Take care of business in the ring. So many examples of fighters who could have sued. Legit reasons, but never did. Librado Andrade versus Butte, Jose Ramirez Taylor, and many more. It makes fighters look soft.
Ramirez Taylor, what is he talking about?
Because remember the ref held his hand, Ramirez's hand, and then Taylor kind of swung at him and got the knockdown.
I guess.
Librado Andrade because of the long count at the end of the fight.
These false equivalencies, but
I agree.
First, Lamar Roach shouldn't even have to appeal. Like it should just be something that the WBA and the New York State Athletic Commission do. Like they should. Yeah, we need to immediately get a hold of this. There shouldn't even need to be an appeal.
Yeah, but
right?
Speaking of false equivalencies, Calvin, they hate it when Haney did it. Now they love Roach doing it. Tells you everything you need to know. This is crazy.
Every time someone does not get their way in, good Lord.
What are we gonna do? All right.
Good Lord. I understand there are litigious people, but this is what you choose to use as an example of that. This, and this isn't even like this isn't lawyering up. He's just appealing the New York State Athletic Commission. That's what they're there to do. They're there to make sure that everything is fair. They're there to make sure that we get the correct winner, right? And if you don't want to retroactively, if you think that this is going to set a bad precedent, if you think that this is going to be bad for boxing, if we do this stuff, you need to come out and get ahead of this and say he got it wrong. He started a count and then he stopped the count. You need to come out and state that. You have to do it. You have to do it.
Can AI explain this post? Like, can it do it?
Bro, and the journalists can't let them slide on this. They can't. They need to be ringing this guy off the hook and saying, you have to make a statement. If you don't make a statement, I'm writing an article saying you're refusing to come on camera and make a statement. You have to make a statement as to why he started a count and stopped it. You have to do it. So somebody, please, I know they watch this show, D-Star. I know they do. So if you're one of those people and you've got him on speed dial, I know some of you do. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Yeah.
You have him on speed dial. Call him. Force him to make a statement. Force him to make a statement.
Yeah, and how about you just make it yourself so you don't have to hide behind, oh, we don't know who did it. Some guy at WBA website.
Exactly.
What does that have to do with us? Yes, it's in our official website, but it's not our statement. Like, well, okay. All right. So Ali responded, this is the United States. You could sue for anything and everything. I believe this will open the door for all kinds of lawsuits. Every time someone does not get their way in the ring. What are we doing, bro?
Ellie. Good Lord.
Come on, Ellie. Stop it, Ellie.
He loves him some tanking. He loves him some tanking Deontay. He loves tanking Deontay.
I mean, he's talking about like all this other stuff, but like, first of all, this isn't a lawsuit. Like, this isn't. We're not going to court, bro. We're not going to take this to the Supreme Court, right?
Bro, it's going to the New York State Athletic Commission. These are the most unserious people. How many times have I said? You've heard me say this. They've heard me say it. Boxing is full of the most unserious people I've ever seen in my life.
Because they attacked Haney, but now they love Roach.
It's hilarious to me that there are still people out there who hold these people to high esteem. And take your pick: New York State Athletic Commission, the WBA, the WBO, WBC, IBF. Take your pick. The BWAA. These are not serious people. These are not serious organizations. I'm trying not to burn bridges here, but you should see it at this point. The power brokers in the sport. These are not great entrepreneurs. These are not great long-term smart thinking people. These are snake oil sales. They're the guys that knock door to door, and before they knock on your door, they tear roof shingles off your roof, right? And then they knock on the door and say, I noticed, I'm a roofer. I'm a certified roofer with insurance. I noticed that you have some shingles missing that you need replaced, and I can give you this 27-point inspection on how to fix your roof, right? It's only going to cost you $10,000. That's boxing people right there. That's boxing people. These are not highly intelligent people playing 8D chess. These are the guys knocking on your door and scamming you. That's who they are. So I don't feel bad for them at all if they're going to be. Look, I don't feel bad for them at all if they're going to be either rooted out or forced to play ball with what's coming. I don't feel bad for them at all.
Like you see in our website, it might say this, but it doesn't really mean that because I said.
Put the picture back up when you say that.
Yeah. I mean,
you see here. What we meant to say was when we said our, it actually didn't mean our. It just meant I. And that was actually just some dude from HR posting that.
Okay. I mean, what are we doing here, bro? I mean, I just don't like if no other organization could do this, by the way. Like if the police department makes a statement.
My friend works in cybersecurity, and he's blown away that you have the older people who still fall for these scams. Like he talks about his father-in-law who, he'll get this message online on Facebook from like this beautiful woman, right? Saying that they need his address to get him and they're still being scammed, right? What I'm saying is that's people. Some of these people may still be in the chat room. Hopefully not, but that's people in the boxing world. You still have boxing fans who will see the WBA make statements like this and say, yeah, Well, they're smart, so you know. You'll see the PBC with 5 shows last year, and they'll say, yeah, they're just playing 8D chess, though. Never underestimate Al Heyman. Never. These aren't smart people. These are not serious people.
I know that you know that boxing hasn't been giving us the fights you want, but you need to understand this is a business, right? This is a business right here. So I don't look out for your interest as a fan. You need to look out in the interest of the managers and you know the power brokers in the sport. What you need to do, right? Yes, you pay for these pay-per-views, you pay for these boxing tickets, you pay for to help fund the sport, but your opinion, you know, it doesn't really matter. Like you got to look out for the interest of the fighters. What you need to do. This is what we're like. I kind of like I feel sometimes, bro. Like these Jehovah's Witnesses have showed up to my doorstep. Right, and are dictating terms to me, right? Like that's how it feels to me, like in this boxing world sometimes, you know. And I'll tell you, you know, simple explanation why Ali Setback's acting this way, why people in the media act a certain way. It all comes down to access. That's what it comes down to, right? Being one of the cool people that have access to Gilberto, right? You know what I mean? Have access to the guys like Mauricio. Right, you know, they feel like they're part of the cool kids. You know what I mean? Like, look at me. I could give them a call. The great honorable Gilberto can call me, right? And whatever he tells me, it's whatever. Alice Setback. Oh, hey, well, Tank Davis, yes, I always make sure that his boots are shiny, right? But the reality is he wants exclusivity.
His boots.
Look, he wants exclusivity, brother. Right? It's what's up.
I still can't get over the fact that this dude said, no, that's not our statement. And actually, you can read our statement in full here. And then you click on the link and it says, oops.
If me and Calix had a website, hcp.com, right? And you guys saw a statement on the website.
I clicked on the link D-Style this morning, just thinking, okay, maybe so. So even part of me is naive. And I click it and it says, oops. No, you can't be found here. It's like, what? Is this like this is a real sanctioning body? Like this is a real sanctioning body that you guys take seriously. That's what this is. And you click on their link for their official statement. And this is an important statement. This is an important statement to make. Everybody wants to know, hey, what happened 4 days ago? 4 days. This is 4 days ago now. What happened? What is your opinion on it? And you click the link and it says,
speaking of what happened, right? Like there was a time when the WBA had more world champions than the other 3 sanctioning bodies combined, right? Which is amazing. Just think about that. That's how many interim regulars, and that's how many they had, right? What happened to remember they said they were going to get rid of the regular belt? Like just like a year ago, yeah, we're going to get rid of the regular belt. Well, we understand now. We understand that there's too much confusion with all the belts, so we're going to weed out the regulars and just keep, you know, the just the super champions. What happened to that? Nothing happened with that, right? Chico, Dana Turkey said no. Pat McAfee that no to Pat McAfee that Canelo versus Crawford is the first fight in TKO rollout. Get to the real news.
So Dana and Turkey are currently on the Pat McAfee show, which is a big deal, announcing this. And they're saying that Canelo versus Crawford is going to be the first TKO official.
It's going to be. Gotcha. Okay.
Event. Yeah, it is. It's going to be the rollout of TKO. So that's going to be Dana.
Dana's going to be the promoter of that event.
Yeah, Dana's the official promoter. So Dana's going to be the promoter of Canelo versus Crawford.
Oscar de la Hoya.
So guess who now runs? Guess who now runs Mexican Independence Day after all?
Remember last year when De La Hoya was like, did we miss another super chat, or you got that? You got that one.
That was the one. He said you missed the last super chat. Hardworking man. So play hardworking man for him. Hardworking man for him.
I'm a hardworking man. I wear a steel hard hat. I can ride rope, a hammer and paint, do things with my hands that must be.
There we go. And it also says
I know him personally. He loves Brooks and Dunn. Loves Brooks and Dunn.
that's like his favorite band.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe. So, shout out to him. I give him the long version. You know what I mean? It's just so it could all just you know, he could take it all in. You know what I mean? And so there you go. And shout out to you, brother. So I also heard he always like hits the gym. He's like in really good shape too, is what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Man, that nigga was that Japanese guy was in shape.
There you go. I still can't get over that dude that was amazed that I didn't know he was in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't. Was he supposed to be out of shape? I don't know, but it is what it is. Look, one last thing I want to say about this WBA thing, okay, is these are the people that fans just give power to, right? So I remember doing a panel and asking, hey, if Bibble and Betterby fight, and Mauricio makes a stupid decision to not sanction the fight because the WBA doesn't want to sanction a Russian fighter, right? To fight or whatever. So can we all just agree that it would be undisputed? And I mean, the headaches I got hearing things like, no, it can't be because you need the WBC on the line in order for it to count. But it's a special power that it has and it holds and it must happen. You need it, right? Just like the people that think we need Canelo to fight Skull to help make the fight with Crawford more prestigious because it would be undisputed. I don't know about you. I don't really care if the IBF is on the line or not. That's just me. It doesn't. I'm not losing sleep over it. The fight is just as significant to me, right? But that's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. T says, Espinosa, the weasel is gonna crash out, laughing my ass off. Damn. Right? Well, there you go. Hey, shout out to Mr. T. Much appreciated. All right, let's get to the Dana White. Dana White is now officially in the sport of boxing.
Yep.
Working together with Turki Al-Sheikh, TKO, and I saw that I forgot his full name, but Khan is there, which is the main dude that owns WWE as well. So there's some power there, and the reality is they're going to have Turkey's backing, and they're going to have the backing of the biggest mixed martial arts league in the world for promotional purposes, and the biggest wrestling company in the world. For promotional purposes. So don't be surprised if you see more like if you see Canelo like cutting a promo on WWE, don't be surprised. Like, you get me? If he's out there like, hey motherfucker, I'll fuck you up, motherfucker. Hey Canelo, you can't cuss, bro. He's gonna try to cut a promo without cussing, and he's gonna fail at it. He's gonna cuss the shit out of it, right? Can you picture with the WWE mic like, hey, what's going on? This motherfucker right here. If you don't get out of my ring, I'm going to fuck you up, motherfucker. The Rock is in shit, motherfucker. So there you go.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Huge.
And before you go, I need to make this comment. Because these people right here, right? If I pull them back up, there's people that have convinced the boxing fan, right, successfully, like, of what they need, what their priorities are, right? They've convinced them. They have talked to them.
Look at
brochure and all.
That's them.
You don't want boxers to get paid like UFC fighters. You want them to make more money. Look at what the top UFC fighter only make this amount. Ha ha ha! Look at that, and you need to care about that.
Can I go real quick? Put it back up. Put it back up. Can I go real quick?
This one.
You need the sanctioning bodies around because you need them for the ranking system. You need more Rolando Romero being number 2 in the ranking. You need more Ismael Barrosos versus Rolando Romero's for the 140-pound belt. You need more regular titles. We need more.
And look,
everyone. Do you know they had an interim belt unification fight this year? An interim belt unification fight.
I mean, this is
You had two
crazy.
dudes, dude. This can't be. We can't gloss over. You had two dudes unifying interim belts. Are you serious? Are you insane? And nobody was even talking about. You had dudes unifying interim belts. Are you insane? Like what the hell are we doing?
I don't know. HLD. If only Turkey can get Elon Musk and Doge in boxing, he would expose all the corruption and get rid of sanctioning bodies in less than a week. LOL. And let's get a. I'll get it for him in a little bit, but. Mira, Elon Musk que se vaya a la pinche verga, ese cabrón no sabe nada, la madre ese cabrón. Mira. Look. Dana will not read me off like Don King. Don King took all my money. He took all my money in the La Hoya fight. Took all my money. But okay, here's my thing. The only problem with Elon Musk, he'll make up stories about shit that's not true and claim that the WBA is giving away condoms to terrorists to make bombs. So I don't know if that would work. But like I don't want to go there, you know what I mean? But shout out to you, brother. Mars Boxel says you don't need $25 pay-per-view. You need $80 PBC.
Put the picture back up. Put the picture back up and say it. Put the picture back up. There you go. I'll say it. You don't need $25 pay-per-views. Actually, what you need is $80 PBC pay-per-views. That's actually what you need. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. I wouldn't expect you to know that because you're just a boxing fan. And you don't know how dangerous Lamont Roach really is. Tank knew all along. Tank knew all along how dangerous Lamont is, which is why he picked him. And he was trying to tell you, you were just too stupid. And we need to collect your receipts. We need to collect receipts of all you guys who just didn't know how dangerous Lamont Roach really was.
Oh, man.
These dudes are unserious. But as far as this, the thing, and look, D-Style, change is not pretty. It's not pretty. And with change, a lot of times the people who are bringing change are going to be demonized on the front end. And they got to weed out a lot of corruption. There's a lot of corruption in boxing that needs to be weeded out. And the thing about this as well is they're going to have to work with people within this system to get this going. We talked about the 2030 vision of the Saudis. Had Jace Chaudhry on the show on my channel talking about the 2030 vision, what it is. And it's a consolidation project to bring not only boxing is just a small part of this portfolio. There are way bigger things going on here, but they want to bring boxing east and make Riyadh the epicenter of boxing, along with F1 racing, along with golf, along with, and don't doubt me on this, Major League Baseball, along with NBA. Many things going on, many moving parts. They want to move over and have Riyadh as the epicenter of Saudi. In order to do that, the consolidation has to go fast. It has to move fast. And in order for it to move fast, you need to have people, you need to have experts. You need to have people who understand the landscape of boxing in order to consolidate this project quickly, because it needs to be done quickly. It needs to be done quickly. And then later on, what I've said is I think a rug pull is coming in the future. I think guys right now who are getting paid are going to get paid artificially high. It's going to be good for the fighters in the short term, in the interim. But then there's going to be a rug pull that comes. And that's just part of it. That's going to be the part of the sustainability, is there's going to be a reset button that's going to get hit. And it's going to be good for fighters top to bottom. You and I have talked about this, D-Style, how when boxing fans have been, and this is part of doing this change, you have to, there are boxing fans who have been propagandized, right? And they've been propagandized to think that things that are good for the A side fighters, good for the fighters that are at the top, are good for fighters up and down the board. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case.
Very top heavy in the pay scale.
You need a system in place that's sustainable from the bottom up. It needs to be good for fighters up and down. It's not a good thing for they disguise it as such, but it's not a good thing. It's not empathetic to have Jamal Charlo hold the belt for 1,000 days without defending it because he's going through mental health problems. Because guess what? There's a guy who's 17th in the rankings, and he's an electrician full time, and he can't move his way up the rankings because the rankings are bottlenecked at the top just because of your corruption, right? So we need something that works from top to bottom. And the positive of this is it at least gives us some hope that we could get that in the future. In this case, I'll take the devil that I do not know over the devil I know, because I know the devil that I know has run everybody out of this sport in America. Look around you.
Yeah.
Look around you. Like globally, yeah, you can say the sport is healthy in Japan. It's healthy in the UK. It's healthy in Saudi. It's healthy in Australia. It's not healthy here. It's not. It's simply not. Everybody's leaving. You may have 100,000 hardcores left. Pay-per-views are not selling. Canelo's fighting once here in the next 4 fights. It's not healthy, right? So they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to make it healthy here so they can make money off of it. But at least I have somebody willing to invest in the sport. And then you'll have people out there saying, well, I don't really need this because the sport is great as is right now. If that's the argument you want to make, fine. I don't agree with that. Boy, do I disagree with that. But why is it healthy right now? Or why is it great right now? Name all the fights. Name all the great fights the past year and a half, 2 years. They're all Saudi fights. And you think they're just doing this out of the goodness of their heart? No, they're setting something up. They've been setting this up is why they've been doing it. The sport, if your argument is it's great right now, it would not be great right now had the Saudis not been setting this up. And look, there are many moving parts here, D-Style, that they're going to have to figure out. Are they going to repeal the Ali Act? There's arguments that they're not going to be able to do these small-time fights here in America because of the Ali Act. Will they repeal it? Combines. The interesting thing to me is the combines, because what they're saying is what we're doing, especially in America, is not working in the amateur system. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold combines. Fighters are going to be able to come out to our hubs, work out, work for promoters, work for our promotion, and then get a deal. And then we'll continue to train them in these hubs and get them ready for professional boxing and try to create stars that way from the bottom up. Will it work? I don't know, but it's worth a shot, right? I'm willing to do anything else. Anything else. You see what the WBA is doing right now? You see $80 pay-per-view for Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. Please give me something else. And sometimes doing something makes things worse. A lot of times doing something makes things worse. But in this case, you need to do something else.
But you know what you don't understand is that $80 makes it more prestigious for you. It means more because you paid more for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I'm told anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Remy, I can't say rug pull when Turkey runs boxing.
No.
Oh wait. He said something about a rag on his head earlier. I mean, man, I don't know, man. What's going on right now?
You guys, But these, I don't know who's gonna. This is definitely, we've been saying it once again. Another thing we've been saying for a year and a half. This is a get down or lay down movement, but it's right now it's friendly. This is a friendly takeover from the Saudis. It has been, right? We're going to allow you guys to play ball with us. Bob, Oscar, Eddie, we're going to allow Al. We'd love for you to come over here. We have 5 Ferraris for Tank. I know he's scared to death to fight anybody. I know you're scared to death to put your fighters in here because they always lose outside of their bubble. But look, you can be a part of this. We want you to be a part of this because it works faster that way, right? You can just be glorified brokers, give us your fighters, and we can make this thing move quickly and efficiently. And sanctioning bodies, you can be involved in this as well. You know, you can clean up your act a little bit. Be nice if you cleaned up your act a little bit, right? You can be a part of this, right? We still have the look. There's a grant. One of the sanctioning bodies just announced a big Grand Prix, right? So that tells me that they're going to be involved some kind of way. They're not going to go away, right? But at the same time, if 2 to 3, 5 years from now, the people who don't want this sport to work efficiently are gone, I'm not going to lose any sleep. To hell with them. Whatever.
No.
If the top fighters are not being paid $1 gazillion to fight Lamont Roach or whoever else, right? Morrell Jr. And there's no way these guys are. And I have to, if I want to see my favorite fighters fight, I have to see them on pay-per-view. We have to charge you 80. You don't understand. You don't understand the business of boxing. We have to charge you $80 if you want to see your favorite fighters fight. You're not intelligent enough to understand that. You know how exhausted I am with that. So if these guys fall by the wayside and get run over by this train, fine. To hell with them.
Oh,
to
man.
hell with them.
But what if you do got to pay more to watch your favorite fighters? You know what I mean? Maybe that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? But look.
And look, you guys that are saying Saudis are bad for boxing, I'm going to tell you right now, you have no idea what the last year and a half would have looked like in boxing. They stepped in that vacuum at the right time, which seems to happen, right? And I'm telling you right now, I don't know, man. I don't know.
A couple of things.
What's good for boxing? What's good for boxing?
A couple of things, Alex. So, one, do I think it's going to work? My answer is I don't know, right?
That's my answer too.
I don't know if it's going to work or not. But what I do know that in the long term, we do need something else. Like we need better answers. Like we need to, and I don't see like a path going forward. We haven't created a new star really since Canelo. I mean, we just don't. We have people pretending Tank's a star.
Top Rank was being paid $90 million per year for a decade for ESPN to budget their fights. ESPN's paying for their fights. How many stars did they create in that decade? $900 million total, almost $1 billion. Waddle and Reed supplied PBC almost $1 billion, 900 million, 850 million, whatever it is. That's almost $1 billion. Do y'all understand that? And they gave them a budget to create a star, and they couldn't do it. They didn't do it. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah, but the current model just it's not sustainable. Like in terms of to create a healthy sport, we just don't have a sustainable model. We've become an event-driven sport. That's what we've become. And events carry the sport, which is, I get to a degree, but at the same time, look at where it's gotten us. Like we're at a point, Alex, where one of the biggest stars in the sport is a YouTuber called Jake Paul, who did some training, won a couple of fights, and now he's one of the biggest stars. We have world champions calling him out to fights. This is what we're currently at. This is where we're at right now, right? And I just don't like where we're at. And another thing, and I saw a lot of this, and it's and I'll get to that HLD in a little bit, but one thing that I'm seeing is, oh, but Dana, he's not going to pay. He's not going to pay the fighters. He's not going to pay them. He's not going to, Dana rips fighters off. But I feel like people just say those things, but the reality is, outside of the top, like the guy you see on the Forbes list, right? Outside of those fighters, how much is your average boxer really making, right? If you take the top 300 boxers in the world, at what point do we see these guys actually working like a second job because they're not making that much money in the sport?
They ain't getting paid, bro. They're not getting paid. They don't see that though. They're not in gyms. They don't see this stuff. They don't see guys working 3 jobs, raising a family, number 17 in the rankings, and they're stuck there because the WBA gets paid money under the table to put Rolando Romero against Ismael Barroso for the title. They don't see this stuff. They don't know. They don't know the scams. They don't know the corruption. But they're going to be the loudest in the room. I know that. There are real concerns. I'm not going to act like they aren't. This could go sideways. I'm not going to act like it can't. One of the concerns I have for fighters, that's a real one, right? And what I would be concerned with if I was a fighter, and this is the question I would be asking if I was a real fighter trying to become a real star, is how much of my name, image, and likeness do I get to keep? How much of this, if I sign with Dana White, gets taken from me by Dana White, like happens in the UFC, right? That's what I'm asking. But that's the thing, like boxing people don't look long term. They don't look at passive.
Everything is very short term, bro. Like, for example, Devin Haney, right? Not well known. No, let me get this out before I forget. HLD, shout out to you, brother. WBA president said the WBA advised by its officials, international committee, knowing the competition rules and in attendance, say it was a knockdown, right? Why can't the WBA president just say that was a knockdown, bro? What's with, like, I hate this type of talk we get, like this window dressing talk that we get, bro.
Just say he
yeah, the international committee, we got together, we had a meeting, and everyone in the committee voted, and then they use all these, like, bro. But shout out to HLD, we got to give it to HLD. You know what I mean? Well, like, shout to him.
You, there. What is your profession?
I'm a potter. So.
And you, Acadian, what is your profession?
Sculptor, sir.
There you go. Shout out to HLD. What is your profession? All right. But that's where we're at, brother. Look at where we're at. Like it's just like the Titanic sinking. People just they want to tell why we're complaining about the violin music instead of fixing the fact that we're sinking, right? And that's where we're at right now. And all I know is this: I want a sport where I would rather pay 10 guys $1 million and one guy 10 million when he doesn't even generate the million. I mean, you know what I mean? Like right now, we're overpaying fighters, and the Saudis know. You don't think they know that? They're the ones paying them. They see the return that they get from it, right? This is not, and I've been saying this for a year and a half. This is not going to be like a long-term model. Eventually, they're going to reel things in. You know, you use the reference of pulling the rug under them. That's basically what's going to happen.
Eventually, right? And what people don't understand is eventually the rug was going to get pulled anyway. All these people that are fine with the status quo, you do realize that that rug would have been pulled already. They're being artificially paid by the Saudis. You have a couple people still getting artificially paid. Haney wouldn't get, they would have pulled the rug from Haney. They would have pulled the rug from all these guys. This was not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
We already have a little bit of an example, Calix. Remember when Haney got all mad because like nobody bid on his fight with Martin? And he got mad at the Matchroom. Oh, Matchroom, this and that. And like, and he wasn't happy with the amount of money that Top Rank bid. Well, that's your market value, bro. There's just not, like, it is what it is. And after the beating by Garcia, you don't even have the undefeated thing anymore. Like that's where you are. But just to kind of explain the short-term thinking of a lot of these fighters, like I still remember like Devin Haney declining to be on a boxing video game because he wanted to get paid well for it. And he wanted to be on the cover of it, right? Not Canelo, not Fury, me. If I'm not on the cover, I don't want to be in the game, right? But you're not even a known name, bro. You would think, like, you would want that shit. You would give it to them for free. Like, yeah, hell yeah, put me on a boxing video game, right? That's more exposure for me, but they don't think of it that way.
And I think, I don't think some people are understanding that when they argue for the status quo of boxing and what it was in 2024, they're arguing for the Saudis, and they don't realize that they're arguing against themselves. You're arguing for PBC to basically be gone, and you're arguing for the Saudis to be running the sport. They're the ones who have been putting on the good fights and lower pay-per-views and stacking cards. You realize that, right? Like, I don't think they do. I just got sent a text. Can you pull up on Twitter Oscar Oscar S. Willis at Oscar S. Willis. Apparently, there's a clip of Dana White talking about the changes he wants to bring to boxing. I want to see. I don't know. I'm going in the blind here. It may be nothing, but I want to see what it is he's talking about. Chico just said it to me. He just bodied Espinoza and Tom Brown with that interview clip. So I want to see. It's Oscar S. Willis.
I see the clip, but I'm not going to be able to listen to it at the moment.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can bring it up on my phone if you want to see what he's,
Sure.
what
Yeah,
he's
you
talking
can.
about.
Sure.
All right, let's see what he's talking about real quick. Let's see.
I got to enable the audio somehow on my end, but so whatever I show. But.
Can you hear that?
At the end of the day, boxing has become this thing where you have to be undefeated for people to care about you, and that's all going to go away. There's a lot of guys out there that we're looking at that are going to be in this roster that have a lot of O's behind there. They're all going to fight each other, and what people want to see are great fights, and they want to know who is the best in the world. And like I said, when you put the great fight, the other thing that we're going to do is my son just went to that show this weekend. He said the live event was terrible. Disorganized. Yeah, disorganized, and we're going to clean that up. We're going to make the live events great again too. The run of show will run faster. It won't take 9 hours to see 4 fights. These guys put on a fight and then have a podcast, and then put on another fight and have a podcast. The show will run like UFC does. What's going to fight after fight after fight.
That's a big one right there. No more live podcasts on air. Too many unimpressive people part of these pay-per-views, especially too many unimpressive people in suits who just got there because of maybe their family member holds a position somewhere, and they get in these shiny suits and they think they're somebody, right? Let's just have the guys calling a fight. I'd love to see Jim Lampley back in the mix. I would love to see them put that HBO team back together. Less Abner Maris, less stupid unofficial scorecards, and more people there. And then less of going, let's go up to the studio, and then you have 3 or 4 guys talk, and then they have fighter interview. The beautiful thing about the last Riyadh card was, notice in between each fights, the fighters were not being interviewed. They just went to the next fight. We don't need a fighter interview in between every single fight. We can do that after. You can have a post-fight show where you do that stuff. We don't need to know these unserious people with suits on opinion on everything going on in the boxing world. I don't need to know what's going on technically in the next fight. Just put on the next fight. Speed this thing up. And he's right. He's absolutely right about the PBC card on Saturday. It was not well done. It was just not well done.
But breaking news, Calix, the WBA president now says that the WBA championship committee, not just any committee, by the way, the championship committee. I don't know how many committees they have, but the championship one, all right? Not just your ordinary committee. They got the champion committee, and they're working with all the stakeholders to find a solution, right? I mean, what type of language is this, right? What are we talking about, bro? Like, these sanctioning bodies talk about these things, like they're in the NASDAQ, and they need to talk to the stakeholders in the NASDAQ and stuff like that. Like, that's how they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
How long are we gonna wait for that to happen?
We were gonna wait forever for that, Aztec. I'm sorry, but no, brother. I'm open to this. It doesn't mean I'm going in blindly to it. Like, if Dana does moves that I don't agree with, I'm gonna, believe me, speak out on them, just like I do with anybody else. But
just like I spoke out about this Saudi card, the Saudi cards, the first weekend of May, they're showcase fights. I don't need to see these 100%. Fights. They're showcase fights. I don't like it. I don't like it. Put these dudes against each other already. I don't need to see this in the press conference. Wasn't all that entertaining. Teofimo carried that press conference, right? It wasn't all that entertaining. And we don't need to see Eminem in Los Angeles do a 20-minute performance with 6 songs. Come on, like what are we doing here? There are kinks that they're gonna have to work out. But this stuff that Dana doesn't need to be involved. Guess what? The guy with all the money says Dana White needs to be involved. So guess what's gonna happen? Dana White's gonna get involved. He's saying, I can't do it without Dana White. And I know why he can't do it without Dana White. He needs to get it done quick. He needs people in the room who know what they're doing. He needs a backing. He needs people around him to get this done. He needs a team.
Will do whatever. Like,
he doesn't trust Al Heyman, Bob Arum. He doesn't trust these guys to point guard this, because why would you? What do you mean you don't need him to get involved?
Like a couple
who
of things.
Who are you to say you don't need him involved?
Hey, but let me
make with the money says he needs to be involved. So guess what? He needs to be involved.
Let me make this point, Alex. So Turki Al-Sheikh, every move that he's made, right? When he started working with De La Hoya, remember De La Hoya dissed him? He was like, "Oh, no one comes to my city," and then like whatever how he was talking. And then he basically buys him off pretty much. And why did he do it? Because he wanted the ring. Why did he? Because he wanted the branding of the ring. That's what he wanted. That was his goal, right? He already got what he needed from Oscar De La Hoya, right? Now, since he bought the Ring magazine from him and helped him with a couple of cards, it did breathe life into Oscar, who was really, and I know Nando will get mad at me for saying this, but stranded in the middle of the ocean, ready to drown pretty much. But he was given his lifeline by Turkey, right? But I want you to think about, and you've already alluded to this, but I want everyone out there to think about it. There was no Turki Al-Sheikh right now, like none. Mm-hmm. What was going to happen, like with Top Rank after ESPN drops him? What's the move?
What's PBC's move still to this day?
What's PBC's move? Like, what does PBC do?
What's their move, bro? What's the move?
What do they do? Like, and then is there
do they not realize that without all this investment money, that none of this would be happening? Like none of these cards,
none of it would be happening.
They were screwed.
That was my next point. My next point was, and what was going to happen with, with the zone, if there's no Turkey money? It probably isn't around either. They're probably already, or they're making a lot of cuts. Like, I'm just saying.
Why is this difficult? I don't understand, man. Like, sometimes it feels like we're talking to kindergartners. What is difficult to understand about this? This is not difficult. No, what Turkey says we're not automatically good with, bro. What is your options? It's like that person that, they have no leverage, nothing. They have nothing, but still they're going to complain that their options aren't good. Bro, you have no good options because of what these people have been doing. And that's what we've been telling you for 15 years. 15 damn years we've been telling you these dudes suck. They are not impressive people. They're not impressive people. And it's why people keep walking out the door, and you're going to sit there and still complain, oh, you know what? But we need to give him more time. And I don't like this guy. And whatever he says, you're going to be good. No, bro. What are my options? What am I? I'm going to criticize the May 2nd card, May 3rd card, May 4th card. Because to hell with him too, right? But I'll take that option over the ones you're trying to propose. Good Lord.
What I know is this, all this talk, like the championship committees, and we're going to make this decision after the board of directors get together, and they all have their own little wording to make it sound like more than what it really is. But it really, what it comes down to, the sanctioning bodies are talking behind the scenes with the power brokers on what move they're going to make. Okay. That's what it is. They're bought and paid for, right? Because they do all this window dressing at their little conventions, right? Where people walk up to them like they're a king, and they walk up to them like they're in court, and they're like, "Dear Mauricio, I have a fighter ranked number 17, and we believe he should be ranked at least in the top 10 because X, Y, and Z, and we will discuss this with the board of directors and blah, 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 blah." But really what happened was that's what they did, but behind the scenes, and it's from what I've heard and things very reliable people have told me, yeah, Mauricio got a bag behind the scenes, right? Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers get paid behind the scenes to put, like, you ever wondered how the fuck that dude end up in the rankings all of a sudden?
We know how.
That dude's number one? What? Like, how do you guys think that happens? All right? Mm-hmm. There's quid pro quo going on. I'm not going to deny is the one with the most money, Turki Al-Sheikh, playing the quid pro quo game to make some of his cards happen? Probably. He probably is doing it too, right? But it doesn't mean it's not happening right now, right? Like, and my only thing is this: this idea that we're replacing these great establishments with the evil Saudi Arabians, it's like what these are not good people. It's not just Calix. It's not just about they're incompetent and you don't respect their business savvy. To me, it's worse than that. They're not good people.
Yeah.
I don't think Mauricio Sulaimán's a good person.
I don't expect anybody in power to be a good person, though. I'm always looking out for my own
look,
interest.
there's one thing, like what I mean by this is.
But what I want to make it clear, because we need to be clear for some of the people in the chat because they're very slow. And I want people to know also that I'm very happy today. I'm very positive because this is great for the sport of boxing from my viewpoint. So anybody thinking I'm being negative right now, boy, am I not. I'm very positive, very happy of what's happening. And told you so once again that Dana White was going to be involved in boxing because you guys were saying, some of you guys we're saying Dana White will never be involved in boxing. No. Well, guess what? He's involved in boxing. But I'm not naive to think that the person that I can get the most of is still a good person. I know all these people are corrupt, all of them, but I'm looking out for my own interests. And that's been demonized, right? Is you can't look out for your own interests. You need to look out for the interests of the fighter, the power broker, this guy. My favorite fighter is not going to get his bag anymore. No. Guess what? I'm looking out for my own interests, and this is going to be better for my own interests. 100%.
What about all you guys worried about the bag of the fighter? What about your wallets?
Mm-hmm.
See, I have a dragon in my wallet, right? What about your wallets?
Yeah.
What about that? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I want you guys to start thinking about. Like a little bit, you know, just think about that. Like, we've been getting ripped off for years. We're the fan base to watch our sport. Like, we pay more than any other fan base to watch their sport.
They want to be charged harder, though.
Like, did you like being lectured? Like when Espinosa would tell people, like, tell the boxing fans to be appreciative of Tank's fights because these guys are so-called boxing fans, but they don't respect Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia is a champion at 130 pounds. These guys are not real boxing fans. You know what I mean? Like you get lectured by people that say, I don't want that fight.
Put the screen back up. You don't understand that Hector Luis Garcia is a dangerous 130-pounder, and he's got a belt, and he's a real champion. You don't understand that he's actually more dangerous than the guy fighting in his own weight class. You don't understand that, Tank hasn't fought the top guys in his own weight class, and he's brought down guys in weight for catch weights and higher weight classes, and he's bringing up guys from smaller weight classes, but you don't understand why that's pound for pound. That is pound for pound greatness, and this is a generational great. You don't understand how great these guys are. And you, by the way, you sound anti-fighter, and by the way, you sound kind of racist. So I'm going to send my shadow accounts and all of my unpaid interns after you to destroy you.
You know what's funny is I still can't believe that some troll account was going around saying, "Oh, D-Style is a racist," right? and Espinosa retweeted it.
It's him tweeting it from his shadow account. Why do people not see this?
This is crazy, bro. And he was the president of Showtime Sports at the time.
And these are the people you think are serious people back there working very hard. And these dudes have so much time on their hands that they can troll and go after and try to demonize just regular boxing fans. Because D-Style and I are not journalists.
My only thing is this, like, and even though we're not journalists, we still have more integrity. And we still bring on the bigger questions and the better questions.
I don't charade as a journalist just so I could get a free ticket to a fight and just sit there and not even show up. You look at press row, dude, you go to a fight. I know some of the people in the chat don't go to fights, but if you go to a fight, you'll see press row empty, halfway empty until the main event.
They're holding a card, right? And then they show up like in the co-main.
Yeah, they're going there to get a free ticket. They get press credentials to get free tickets just so they can run their spaces and polish off and service Steven Espinosa and these guys when they come on, just so they can get free tickets to fights. I pay my way to fights, and I sit there quiet and I watch the fights, right? And I enjoy myself, go hang out with my friends. That's what I do. And I still have more integrity than these dudes.
This is crazy.
whatever. I love everybody though. I want to put that out. I love everybody.
Nothing but love out here. You know what I mean?
I love everybody in the chat. I love everybody.
Can we
Everybody loves
what here's what I want to know. What's the panic exactly? No one is stopping Matchroom and Top Rank, and it's a free market, right? No one is stopping them from still promoting their events
Go do it.
at all.
Go do it. Go find another network. Top Rank, PBC. Go find a network. Go do it. Nothing stops you.
If you could do it without this, because at the end of the day, they don't have a problem using Turkey's money. When it's the boxing promoters using his money.
No.
But now that Dana is going to be using his money, there's a problem all of a sudden.
You still have hope. Your favorite power broker can do it. Your favorite fighter can still get his bag. You still get it. You still have hope.
Mars is good people, though. I'm going to say that the slander of Admiral Mars is not going to be tolerated over here. You know what I mean?
No, Mars is bad. He's not good. I'm sorry.
He's
not good. No, he's probably a good dude. I'm nothing against him, but man, come on, step up.
I mean, it might help to elaborate. Like, oh, he's not a good commentator.
He's not a good commentator. And the guy that they had doing unofficial scorecard who conveniently scored the 12th round for Tank so he can get a 115, 113 card. These people, we've been conditioned to just accept average. And come on, man. Jim Lampley needs to get back in the mix. In hindsight, he's the best to ever do it. He's the GOAT in the boxing world as far as play-by-play announcing. I don't like that he cries, right? Like he cries all the time. Oh my God, he had a dog that died like 27 years ago. Oh my God. And then Waterworks, right? So that's not good that he cries a lot, but he's still the best blow-by-blow guy in the business. Pause. And I'd like to see them. And look, as much as Max Kellerman bothers me with his constant talking, I'd take Max Kellerman over anybody else who's done it recently. You need to bring back that HBO vibe. The Zone does not have it.
I just don't like. In other words, what if it works out good? Well, what if we should start getting good fights and more consistent fights?
You're gonna complain.
What if we do get some of these Saudi cards and they, instead of running for 9 hours, they just in 3 hours are done and then boom, we're out. Well, why would you be against that?
They're gonna complain.
I mean, I don't know. I'm everyone's using the Saudi money right now, so I just don't see the problem with the Saudis dictating terms saying we want a league. Because none of y'all would be doing shit right now if it wasn't for the Saudis, right? And whoever doesn't want to do things with Saudi, they don't have to. If they don't want to sign to the league, they don't have to sign to the league. If for whatever reason the league grows and it gives them more consistent fights and we get away from this mentality that people have been stuck on about the old mentality and we get more fights, are you really against that?
Yeah, they are. They are.
I guess. I mean, I guess. Plus now Dana could hold his hand and Kennel doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm. Because
the hand was getting a little close. You know what I mean? But Dana came right in and whew.
Canelo and Turkey's hands were they were very close. They're very close. My look, for the people out there who are so worried about fighters and what your favorite fighters getting paid. Here's the two things I would advise you to tell your favorite fighters.
Let me address Aztec's loaded question right now. How does I get off the old mentality? If you create a league, right, theoretically, and it's successful, right, and all these fighters are all fighting each other more often than they do now, right? We don't have so many undefeated fighters, and people witness fighters lose more often. It becomes normalized to just have losses and come back. That's what I mean. It's not a very complicated concept, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Right now, for whatever reason, in the boxing world, there's still, even now, there's an obsession with protecting the O. There just is that. That's why, certain fighters don't take a certain fighter that they don't want to take big money to fight Boots, because they were protecting what they saw as an investment, and I wanted to take that first L, right? Because if they believed that he could win that fight, they would have taken the Boots fight, and they would have been complaining about taxes and we don't want to fight in Philadelphia because the taxes are high and all that good stuff. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah. So the two things you need to be asking yourself and asking questions about if you're a fighter right now is, how much of my name, image, and likeness do I get to keep if I sign with this boxer league? Because it is a serious question that needs to be asked. Very serious question. Number two, that is a concern. Number two, you need to go be getting your money now, because I've been saying it for a year. This isn't I told you so moment. It's just obvious as day. There's going to be a boxer league. Dana White's going to be involved, and TKO is going to be involved, and you're going to have to get your money on the front end, because eventually there is going to be a rug pull. The rug pull would have happened without them being involved anyway. People need to realize that.
I just want to specify, though, because I think some people are going to misunderstand that, right? So right now, guys, this is the market value of most fighters, and this is what they're getting paid.
Yes.
Okay.
For years now. Yep.
And fighters think, oh, well, we're here, so we're going to keep making more, even if their market value drops, right? And you could almost say that, well, that's enabled behavior, because the promoters and even Turk himself have enabled that behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we mean by the rug pull is, well, eventually you're going to get paid what your worth is.
Exactly.
And that's I think that's fair. I think fighters getting paid what their market value is. It's more than fair, right? So the market value in boxing is going to be different than it is in the UFC. Because in the UFC, they have a complete monopoly of everything from jump. They're the ones that grew the popularity of that sport and make that sport as popular as it is. And they hold like 90% of all the top fighters in the world, right? They're going to have more competition in boxing, right? Yep. There's other promoters involved. So that's going to alter the market value a little bit, right? But right now, there is a premium price that the Saudis are paying for these fights. They're not making profits out of these fights.
Yep.
You see Fury and Usyk on the top of in the top 100 Forbes list, the most highest paid athletes and all this other stuff. You're not going to see that anymore unless they actually generate it. No offense to Fury and Usyk, that's not their real market value. That's just what they were paid.
Yep.
There's a difference between that. And
that's
going to be the change.
In no real organic world would Usyk get paid that type of money that he was paid in no organic world, right? But this is what people need to realize is you had a lot of time. You had a lot of time to get ahead of this, and you should have seen it coming. And now you're in panic mode. So where it started was networks gave promoters a budget, and this is what we're going to pay, and bring us your best fights. All of you bring us your best fights, and we'll put on the best fights, right? Where it changed was network exclusivity. It was, I'm just going to work with this promoter. So then you brought an extra obstacle in the way of making fights, because this guy's HBO, this guy's Showtime. It became Bloods and Crips, right? Then this guy's going to be ESPN. So what happened was, I'm giving this promoter a $90 million budget to put on his fights. Showtime, I'm giving this promoter $100 million for these fights on top of the Waddle and Reed money he made. And they're blowing through this money, protecting their top fighters at the same time. They're protecting their top fighters, blowing through this money, and they have almost $1 billion. Almost $1 billion over here, almost $1 billion over here. Two of them, for example. And neither one of them could create one star. One star, almost $2 billion. And neither one of them could create one star. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and be a proponent of that model continuing. I'm going to be damned if I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and watch the WBA act and behave the way they were acting and behaving this morning and want more of that. Like, what sane person would want that? Would want more of that? So forgive me if I'm here and saying, you know what? There's going to be issues over here. I don't like this May card, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th. I don't like that. You need to speed up your cards, all this stuff. I don't like some stuff going over here, but guess what? That's 100 times better than what I've been getting over here. A lot more promising.
I'll tell you what's going on, and I'm seeing it in like it's just the vibe and feeling I'm getting, and it's this. Dana's always been seen as a villain in the boxing world, right? And now to people, it's like, why is that guy coming over to our world? He doesn't know. Like, first of all, it's not that complicated to understand the sport of boxing, right? Some people are like, he doesn't understand this side of the world. He wouldn't know what to do. Like they talk about like it's just like it's calculus or something.
These aren't serious people he's competing with, number one. And number two, he's coming here because he had to put zero up, nothing. The Saudis are putting all of it up, and he's getting paid a part of that. He's not putting anything up. Nothing. Brilliant. That's why. This is not difficult to understand.
It's not that complicated.
No, it's not.
My thing is, it's like, again, if it doesn't work, then it's not going to work, guys. Like
look, from the bottom up, we need to fix things. From the bottom up, we're not creating stars. We're not creating intriguing fighters. We're not creating better fighters. In fact, we're creating the fighters are worse today than they were in previous generations.
And by the way,
people can argue with that all they want. I don't care.
Can I specify what we mean by star? Because like, no, Errol Spence not a star. If Errol Spence walking in any like, he could be walking in the middle of Times Square. Like, how many people are gonna be? Oh my God, that's Errol Spence. Like it's just not gonna happen. Errol Spence. I saw Errol Spence go buy his ticket to make a bet.
Errol Spence walking anywhere outside of Fort Worth, Texas, ain't nobody gonna stop him and ask for an autograph.
Like I was in Las Vegas and Tim Zoo and his brother walking around, and nobody knew who the hell they were, brother.
Nope.
Like again, all I'm saying is they're not stars, brother. They're not household names. Like
it's a lack of perspective, D-style. We might be talking to younger dudes. They don't know previous generations. They don't know what a real star looks like.
Like Tank Davis. When people tell me, "Oh, he's a superstar," he's a star. Is he? He's a name. Like I'm not gonna say he's not, but like he's not. What we mean by star is like who's the De La Hoya of this generation?
There are none.
Like, don't you guys remember? Like, come on,
bro, Tank's like Zab Judah. Like, put it in perspective, that would be like the type of star he is. That's it. It's like Zab Judah.
Maybe more than Zab Judah, but
I don't know. Like Zab Judah was doing. What are the pay-per-view numbers he was doing? Zab Judah was selling out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, Cotto and Zab were doing like 280, 300,000. Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
It's not that impressive, bro. Like, it's not.
Does this change your mind about Canelo Crawford and the numbers they're going to do?
Probably. They'll do a better job at it. They do a much better job promoting. So, yeah.
Because Canelo's going to be like, picture like the WWE logo right here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm going to be fighting Crawford in September. But right now, I want to call out The Rock, you stupid motherfucker.
Tank, look, and by the way, D-Style.
And I want to call out Rey Mysterio, that this motherfucker think that he's the biggest star in Mexico. Like, motherfucker, come over here. I don't need to wear a mask, motherfucker. Like,
yeah. And it's going to be big, having that all under one umbrella. But what I'll tell you is who's going to be the journalist that comes out and reports Tank versus Lamont's fake gate numbers? Who's going to be the one to do it?
I don't know.
They're out there saying he did a $7 million live gate, but who's the one that's going to say he did 250? That seems to be the number they fall on, right? He did 250,000 pay-per-view buys, right? So we're 4 days later and nothing reported yet, but it probably did like 25,000 pay-per-view buys. The dude ain't a star.
Is Tank a bigger name than Miguel Cotto was in his prime?
No, absolutely not. And that's what I'm saying. Miguel Cotto wasn't in the top
He was a league guy.
handful of stars in the sport at that time. I mean, he was just another star, but he wasn't a superstar. And he was bigger than Tank. So this isn't
I
difficult,
mean,
like I said.
usually in sports that are successful, this is usually what happens. The contract runs out, and then they go to the highest bidder, right?
Yep.
Meaning Fox, ESPN, CBS, what they all want. Oh, we want give us the AFC, give us this, give us these games, or now Amazon Prime is getting in the mix for the NFL, or like the NBA. Whenever it runs out, they're going to have bidders, right? TNT, ESPN, whatever, right? They're going to create new contracts. In boxing, it's like they run out, and it's like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
We're cutting you off. You know, boxing like that drunken dude at the bar, like that's had a little too much, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta go."
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean I gotta go? You don't understand the sport. Like we're cutting you off. Like, you know what I mean? But luckily, Turkey showed up, got him an Uber, and got him home and stuff. But like that's where we are, guys.
They cut
the
PBC.
Sport of boxing, and by the way, this goes beyond anything. The sport of boxing. When it ran out with HBO, it ran out. It ran out with Showtime. It ran out with and PBC. Look at everything it ran out with them, right? Spike TV and
them
Bounce
dudes
TV
were cut off at the bar, and they did 5 days of work in 2024, and two of those cards were funded by Australian money.
And talking about money and throwing away money, yeah. Ooh, they gave us. Oh man. Arizona De Lara headlining against like a nobody on Fox Sports. Wow.
Yeah.
We got Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truax.
Wow.
Right? The Caleb Bowl. We got that. You know what I mean?
Caleb Bowl.
We got the Caleb Bowl. That's what we got. Right? Like it's just the utter failure to create stars, I think speaks to just the popular boxing in general, declining, right? I think who we're calling stars and looking how they lack the drawing capability of stars of the past does put in perspective really where we are. So with that said, one last thing, and then we're going to get out of here. And I don't know how much to say about this, but the press conference, they're going to be doing this event in Times Square. I don't know how to feel about that, by the way. I think that's just a way of getting out of the fact that you don't need to worry about selling tickets and fighting in front of an empty arena. I think it has more to do with that. But nonetheless, at least you get a free crowd and it'll be packed. So I think that's a good thing for marketing purposes. But hey, Teofimo Lopez doing his thing. Any thoughts on the press conference?
He carried the event yesterday, Teofimo. And people can say what they want about stuff he said, but the rest of it was Ryan and Raleigh. It's like the two special ed kids that you show up to see and you expect them to say some weird stuff, and then all of a sudden they're well behaved. And you're like, all right, what is that? And it's fine. It's just not interesting. So nobody's checking in for Jose Ramirez or Arnold Barboza, to be honest. Like nobody's looking for them to say anything. So they're not interesting. Devin Haney's not particularly interesting either. The only interesting angle is Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia later this year, and that they get past these fights. But Teofimo was the one that injected some life into it, and good for him. But once again, he's got to fight, and he's super talented. We've always said that. He's got to fight. And that's another hope here is now that the Saudis are involved, they seem to get guys active, and hopefully Teofimo is one of those guys because he's a guy who does have talent and should be on a pound-for-pound list if he behaved correctly, right? If he stayed active. So let's hope Teofimo can become one of those guys because to me, he's the most talented guy on that card. And yesterday, he was the most interesting.
Most talented, most interesting. And, I mean, I'm surprised that there's a rumor going out that Rolly Romero banged Ryan's first baby mama, right? While they were kind of in the middle of like breaking up. And there's a rumor that there's text that leaked out of Ryan texting her very angry about it. I'm surprised that didn't come up, right? Because that would have brought some drama that I think they should maybe think about bringing out so it could bring more drama to the fight.
Give him
That's
time.
my opinion about it.
Give him time.
With that said, I think Ryan's gonna knock out Rolly Romero. Like, I think he's gonna knock him the fuck out.
He will.
He's gonna knock him smooth.
That's what I'm saying.
out.
Like this card, Teofimo wins. That is the biggest wild card though. I think he's got the toughest opponent. Raleigh gets knocked out, and then Jose Ramirez is there to get worked, and he will get worked.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Well, with that said, any final thoughts, brother, before we wrap this one up?
I love everybody, and I hope everybody's having a great Ash Wednesday. Told myself I would be good today. I love everybody, even the ones who disagree with me. I love everybody. Let's see where look. On a positive note, let's see where this goes. Let's see. It's just look, man. I'm very much aware that sometimes doing something makes things worse. I get it, but we're in a desperate place. We're in a desperate place in boxing, and at least by my estimation, and something different needs to happen. Give it a chance.
In the ring presents says Happy Ash Wednesday. She did pick Roach to win, by the way. But
great prediction. Great prediction. Got to give it to her.
All right. Well, with that said, I am out of here, guys. We're out of here. Peace out. That's HCP, and we're out of here. Peace.
Eleven, 10, 9, 8, 7.